Hey there, welcome back to another episode of YesUsers Podcast, where we dive deep into the mind of trailblazers and innovative thinkers. Today, we have a real treat for you. Our guest is someone who has been shaking things up in the marketing world. Hailing all the way from the vibrant city of Hyderabad, we have the Chief Marketing Officer of EDVEDHA, none other than Ram Kumar. Now, Ram isn't your average marketing executive. He has a background in mechanical engineering. Talk about a twist in the tail. But he also have a knack for turning visions into reality. So buckle up as we explore his journey and maybe even a few laughs along the way. So Ram, welcome to YesUsers Podcast.
Thank you so much for having me on the show.
So how nervous are you?
Pretty much, but I could say that. Why? Because, this is my first podcast which I'm having right now.
I know. I've done my research.
Oh, yeah.
That's why I asked you, how nervous are you? But I love the fact, I love breaking the podcast virginity.
That's fine because, until unless, we are not breaking that particular part, it's impossible to have a conversation.
Yeah, absolutely. Right. And, see, this brings to, and as we were speaking earlier, right, your whole career journey. And I think a lot of listeners would be able to relate to this, right? So right now you sound so confident, right? So, but that wasn't the case, right? So tell us, how your personality has evolved over the years.
So basically, when, to be frankly, when I was in my college days, I was completely particular person who doesn't knows anything, not how exactly to speak. I don't know how to speak in public, or otherwise, to ask something. I used to go to a canteen and to ask a tea or a samosa or something like that. But eventually, what exactly happened is, until unless you're not asking something, no one will give you anything. Okay, so that's what made me change the whole perspective of giving and taking. So now at this particular point, what exactly made me think is, if I want to talk to someone, if I want to convince someone, whether it's a girl or might be my parents, I have to tell them that, this is my requirement and I want you to help me out. So that made me think, a complete different way where if I want to, process my life, obviously I have to ask something. So this is what made me change.
Yeah, completely makes sense, right? A lot of people kind of already, I think, start presuming that, what other person will think about it or what other person will think of me. I think that's rarely happens. One of the things that I've learned, nobody gives a shit about you. Everybody is so much preoccupied in their own life.
Shit, right.
Right. Everybody has their own shit, right? If you are a beggar or if you are a multi-billionaire, everybody is dealing with their own shit. So was there any pivotal moment which forced you to transition from an introvert to an outspoken guy?
So outspoken guy, yes, I would definitely tell yes, because when I was in my college days, I had this chance to, express myself. There was a debate competition which was going on, and I know complete, to how exactly to speak up. And I used to write, basically I used to write poems, and, this was why my passion towards it. And later on, people have told me that if you are so much passionate about this thing, you have to speak out. Until unless you're not speaking out, nobody knows that what exactly is running through your mind. Okay, so that made me change that, I have to do this. So that is what made me to come out of that particular thing.
Yeah, completely agree. But, life is usually like a movie. One day the hero decides that he's going to change and the next day everything sorts out, right? But that's definitely might not be the case. So how was that transition, right? Okay, you have decided that now I have to be an outspoken person, right? But I'm sure it wouldn't have come easy in the initial days.
Not in an easy way. Definitely, I would say that definitely not in an easy way. I started struggling, to start, to have the first conversation from my end. It was, obvious, it was every time a hard for me. So until always that person comes and talks to me, now I want to talk to that particular person. So I thought that, what if I go and ask that particular person whether he's not going to kill me, right? So I'll go over there and ask him this thing. So obviously he's going to keep the answer for it. If the way I speak, makes, sort of, possibilities where he can understand those things, it'll be easy for me.
Absolutely. So yeah, thanks for sharing that story, right? The only thing I would like to add is that, if you feel that way, if any of our listeners is feeling that, I'm an introvert, I can't do that. Trust me, if you are young, it's really easy. If you are old as me, probably it will be a little harder for you, but it's not impossible. It's never too late.
It is not too late, until unless if you want to express yourself. If you're not expressing, then you are losing something. That is for sure.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So yeah, you had that transition, then you graduated from your engineering college, right? Typically people will go for a software development role, right? Or at worst software testing or digital marketing role, but you you jumped into sales. So why was this decision?
By profession, I would say that by my educational, qualifications, I'm a mechanical engineer. Okay. And, we all know that we might have heard this, mechanical engineers can do anything. So, to be frankly, the college days when I was in my college, so there was no placements for mechanical engineers for my colleges. So, what I thought is, if I want to give a transition of my career, I should, come out of my zone and I have to search for it. So, later on, I searched of many of the opportunities, where I can showcase myself or something like that. And I didn't find anything similar to, according to my skills. So, later on, I thought that, I know I'm good at only speaking. My communications are quite good, so that I'll try for something else out. So later on, I went out, I started researching on myself, and later on, I find that thing out is, you will get happiness when you start helping out someone. Okay. So I thought that, so that made me think about, just we'll go into sales and marketing. So sales is a good place where, people can earn more also. So this made, money makes, all the things. So money made me go into sales basically. And most of the times when I was in the initial stage, I told my parents that, I want to get into sales and marketing. They used to tell me that, you can't go into sales and marketing because sales and marketing is a particular person who goes to households and, they sell things. But later I told them, no, it's not like that. It's an inside sales where I have to go over there. So I'm good at this particular thing and I want to do this. Later on, they agreed for it. And later on, I have, gone for that.
Yeah. Makes sense. This is really interesting. So tell us, how did you landed up in edtech or skill enhancement? How did you land up in this particular niche?
So in first place, it was never my intention to get into a edtech field or, any skill enhancement, job role or something like that. The first thing is, what made me to get into the sales and marketing role is, you will be having good pay, good incentives. That is a major thing which I have. And later on, in the initial stages, which I got placed in the particular company was in edtech. That's a startup, basically. Okay. So out of that particular startup, what exactly happened is, I started learning that, oh my God, I haven't learned anything in my career when I was in my college days. Okay. Now, at this particular edtech firm, this is providing those skill enhancement programs for those particular people who are not able to learn something out of their spaces. Obviously, we all know this, edtechs are a particular field where they are improvising, each and every day. Right. So how exactly, I can showcase myself, let's say that if I haven't learned anything in my career, obviously there are hundreds of people in the same college, they don't know anything. So I just want to help them, help them over there, those people that yes, you can learn something out of, by learning this particular thing. That is what made me get into edtech.
Wow. Sounds really interesting. And trust me, I can relate to that because I've been also running an edtech business close to 10 years now. So trust me, I understand the ins and outs of it. One of the things that I feel about edtech is more of a push product, right? Even though you'll get leads you'll have inbound leads, right? Yeah. But at some level, when you're charging money, it's a bit of a push product, right? And one of the negative things about the sales, which is I would kind of label it as a myth, but one of the common misconception is that salespeople will just sell anything. They don't care whether it's a dog shit or as long as they're getting their commission, they don't really care.
They don't really care. That is true. I would definitely agree for that.
Right. So your 2 cents of helping people was a bullshit.
No, not a bullshit thing, because of, this was particular thing where all the people should get certifications and all this. Obviously, can be done through YouTube or other platforms also.
Yeah.
Time where exactly you're showcasing your talent out, right? So if it is a private firm, so what exactly happens there is they are teaching you and also they're making you to complete the projects of problem solving things, right? So over there you are getting certified also from YouTube or something like you're learning out from those particular platforms. You're not able to get certifications also. So that is how.
No, makes sense. Makes complete sense. So yeah, now the reason I brought this topic of your initial exposure to sales, right? Now you're working at Chief Marketing Officer of EDVEDHA, right?
Yes.
So how did that transition happen? Because CMO is not just responsible for sales, right? They are responsible for a lot of other stuff. So how is that transition working out for you?
So when I was in my initial days, I started my career into sales. Okay. So the leads which I used to get from, the Facebook leads or Instagram leads or the leads which I have to generate. Okay. So if the leads which they are giving, from the company's perspective, and these are completely bullshit. Okay. But obviously we know that the target audience which are coming up. So we don't think that, the leads which we'll get are, perfect target audience. We'll get, the audience from different places and different sectors also. Where, it made me difficult that, I have to get my clients, which I have to call and get the sales also. Now, at the same time, what if I generate my own leads? Now, obviously, if I'm generating my own leads, I'll get to know that the quality of the leads also. Okay. So I started generating my own leads by, getting into, different medias and all this stuff. So later I started generating leads and I got, a 90% accurate leads where I will get sales. So that made me learn, new aspects of marketing also. Because until unless if you're not generating a quality leads, until unless it's a quantity, but if you generate a quality leads, you'll get more revenue. So my perspective have got completely changed from, making sales to generating leads. But let's say that, if I'm generating a 10 leads and if, the salesperson and the sales guy is converting in 8 leads, I'll be very much happy because my cost of generating those leads is increasing by the, return also. So that is how.
No, very interesting. And one of the constant hallmarks of a sales job is the rejection, is the repetitive rejections that you have to handle, right? And
every time, because each and every time if you start selling, or if you want to tell something also, obviously we have to come through these objectives which all the people will come up.
Right. So what is your hack for not letting those rejections get to you?
The target audience, what exactly, if you have a particular product,
right,
okay, you should get to know who is your target audience. Now, if you know your target audience, it'll be easy for you to make him understand what exactly you're trying to sell him. And also there is one more thing. Build a story behind what you're selling. Otherwise, if you're doing a marketing also, build a story. Simple.
Absolutely. I think the stories are the most powerful weapon in any sales guy, right?
Exactly.
Stories are more powerful than facts. Stories are more powerful than a lot of times, the evidences or proof of social proofs or a number of proofs that you can produce. Stories are a lot more effective than that. I think that's one of my biggest learning over the years.
Yes.
Very nice. So tell us about EDVEDHA. What is you guys doing? What problem are you guys solving?
Yeah. So basically, EDVEDHA is a e-learning platform, and we are giving upskilling programs with certification part. In collaboration with AICTE, which is a government body. Okay. And also from here, what exactly we are doing is the concepts which we are teaching for these particular students. These are from engineering colleges and the commerce background and all these people, the management background. Now, why exactly we have to teach them the upskilling part of the technologies might be or non-technical aspects, because the academics which they are having right now. So these people are thinking that our academics are enough for us so that we can get placed into a particular job role in a particular company. But to be frankly, these companies are not looking at their academics right now. They are looking at apart from the college academics, what exactly they have done out of their colleges. Right. So now if you want to learn something, where exactly you're going to learn, not from your college, obviously, you are giving your 4 years of time or 3 years of time in your colleges, and you're not able to showcase what exactly you can do. Right. So now for those particular people, and mostly the Tier 1 people can get placed easily because, the concepts will be easy and familiar with those people. But the real problem lies at tier 2 and tier 3 college people. Right. So for these particular people, we have concentrated on those particular people where we are giving them a proper industrial training with project-based, mentorship programs for those people with certifications. So this will help them to understand and, give much more opportunities for those particular people. Because the curriculums which we are creating, these are catered from, industrial experts, and we are giving those particular, curriculum for those people. So this will help those particular students to come out of this comfort zone and to learn something and to get, landed in those particular job roles which they are, they want to get in. So this is how.
No, that's really interesting. So before this podcast, I was looking at the courses that you guys offer, and you guys had the typical tech courses on every niche that is possible, right? But in addition to that, you had a lot more other type of courses as well. So tell us about that story. So how did you guys come up with that? Okay, we are going to offer these courses and we are going to offer this kind of college goers, right? So how does that conversation goes?
So basically, previous I used to work in, me and the founder, we used to all work in, different tech sector. So we found out that, initially there are few programs which people will mostly look into. Let's say that, it might be a data science, might be, data analysis, web development. Only this kind of courses are coming up in, in the light. But there are other technologies where, most of the people don't know what exactly they have to learn. No, they don't know about this, into their academics. Now, what made us think is that, let's say that, if I am from a tier 3 college, obviously there are people who will be, who want to learn something new. Obviously, there are thousands of jobs are vacant right now still, but nobody knows about it. Until unless we are not learning about that particular technology, how come, we can get placed into those particular companies? Right. So firstly, start learning about, firstly, I want to learn about that particular thing. Where are the opportunities and what sort of technologies are there? So until unless if I'm not able to notice those particular things, I won't be able to address for the students, might be the college people from tier 2 or tier 3. So obviously, if they are from tier 3, obviously they don't know about how exactly, the technologies are evolving or the companies are evolving, right? So this is what made us to think that, we have to give this particular technologies for these particular people. Now, let's say that there might be people who will think about, guys, I want to get into a web development role. Okay. And there are few people who will think that only want to learn about Java. And there are few people who will think about, I want to get into, chemical department. Might be I want to get into a medical coding department. I might want to get into a non-tech role and all this. So for those particular people, they will deviate themselves and they go into, various departments, various places. If we create a particular community where all the people can come up here and they can learn what exactly they are looking for. So it will be easy for them not to go into separate ways where they can learn each and everything at a one particular single point. This is a one-stop solution for all the learners and, the people who are looking for, the freshers, I could say that. Okay.
Right.
So that will be easy for them.
Right. Makes sense. But, I think even you would agree that, this space is very competitive, right?
Definitely. I would definitely agree for that.
Right. And the barrier to entry is really low, right? It takes...
only thing because, if we want to enter into the market, people should get to know us because there are, bigger players in the picture where they won't give us a chance where, all the people might think that, this is, there's some X companies already over there and you're getting it. But, when it comes to, understanding, there's a complete different fields where you have to go into it.
Right.
I'm providing a mentorship program for those particular people. So obviously there is one thing that, we are teaching you something out of all these people. Okay.
Right.
People, there are sectors where, they'll divide all the programs and they'll give it on a different places. And at our place, it is a one-stop solution where you will, if you're taking one particular domain, so you learn on that particular.
Right.
On a complete phase, not on a particular, a topic or something like that. No, it's a complete, learning part.
Right. No, makes sense. And so how is your course developed? Is it developed by in-house teams of expert, or do you guys hire outside consultants?
No, not outside consultancy, but we do hire people from the industries. Architects, the principal architects from the different companies, or might be the topmost level people. So we'll contact them. Okay, and we'll make the curriculum from those particular, what exactly a student have to be learned in order to get placed into a particular company. So from there we'll get the curriculums, and we'll set up those, and we'll make sure that those particular people who have created those curriculums, they'll take the classes. Because until unless an industrial mentor is coming and he'll be teaching you those particular procedures, and it will be a very much difficulty for you to understand. Let's say that there's a lot of difference in a working profession and a professor. The professor, what exactly he does is, he knows how exactly teach the academics of. Okay. And a working professional knows how exactly to deploy a project.
Right.
Not two different parts over there.
Yeah, and I agree with your statements, but again, these are the things other people are also trying to solve, and in a limited extent, they are doing it. Depends upon which platform are we talking about. So, what's your secret sauce? Like, why should we leave all the established players as the end consumer, right? Why should I leave all the established players who have a lot more variety, who have a lot more proof, and pursue course with EDVEDHA?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why? Because, as, so, when we are talking this, so for X factors of the companies, what exactly happening over here? These people are charging, way more than what exactly person can pay. Okay. So in the initial time, the initial talk, I have told you that, we are concentrating on tier 2 and tier 3 colleges, where, there will be a lot of financial constraints for the people. They'll come from the, economical background and all this. Now, let's say that, a program is, which is, all the people are selling at 20,000 or 30,000. Let's say that the same curriculum, which is curated by the industry mentors, if I'm giving the same curriculum at a price of, very low level price, the chances of, acquisition of a particular customer is high. So this is what made us think that, if a student want to learn something, they won't be able to pay, higher pricing. Let's say that if I'm from a middle class family, below middle class family, and I'm eagerly waiting to learn something. Obviously, I think that, if I want to learn and I have to pay this much of amount, then it will be impossible for me and my family to pay that. Now, let's say that, if I'm giving a lot of that particular price, let's say that the pricing is of 30,000 rupees, and if I'm giving at, 10% of it, obviously, it will show much interest towards, learning for that particular person. That's what made us to go into a market where, people can learn actually something with the same curriculum which these big players are.
No, that's completely agree. And, trust me, I have, I've been in your industry, so trust me, I understand, right? So, and this is what was happening to my niche as well. Like, there were people who were selling courses for 30, 40, 50K, 80K, right? And then we said, okay, we'll give them at the 10% of that. And I looked at your pricing before this podcast, and it kind of makes sense. You guys had 3-tier pricing. Like, one was unsupervised, there was like partially supervised, and the completely supervised. Yes. I agree with that. But what worried me back then and still worries me about, this approach is just pricing the product at bottom, right? Because, I'll say, okay, 10%, right? Let's pitch the product as 10%. Then what is going to happen is 6 months, 8 months down the line, somebody else is going to come in and they're going to say, let's pitch the product at 8%. Then somebody else is going to come again. They're going to say, let's pitch the product at 5%, right? Yes. And so that kind of leads to a scale where, if you are charging, say, 5,000 rupees or 3,000 rupees, like, why somebody else can't come in and say that, I'll charge 1,000 rupees and provide the same curriculum? Like, how would you compete to that?
So basically, what exactly happens is, the pricing which we have right now. So what made us think about, keeping at this particular, obviously, as a tech firm, we can go at a minimal price. When compared to those particular people, right? So we have come to a bottom level where, you can stop over there itself. Because, if you want to get lesser, then your quality will decrease. Okay. That quality which we are providing, that's that's the minimum level where you can stop at. If you come lesser than that, then you will mess your quality over there. That is the only thing. Because until unless, if you come, as you already told, if you come lesser for that, you won't be able to get, particular mentors, who exactly you're trying to get. Okay, so that is a major thing, until unless you are getting a proper mentor, then there is a new use of, having a particular brand or, having a particular company over there. That is
No, makes sense. But what will be your argument, right, to someone who's saying like, I can get this stuff for free on YouTube, or I can go to Udemy and get it for 500, right?
500, yes.
Right,
No, now, no, when I'm talking about, this, initial days, I
right,
told you this, that a bit of videos of a particular domain, which is, divided into very few parts. Let's say that, if someone wants to learn about web development, okay, so these people have to go to HTML, CSS, JavaScript, MongoDB, Express.js, and all this thing, right? So we are giving at a price of, a very minimal price, where this, companies are doing what exactly they are doing is 2 minutes of video or 3 minutes of video or this sort of videos. Now it's a part of videos, right? So they have, trimmed it and they're selling it for 450 or 550 or 700 rupees or something like that. But here, when you combine, combine all this particular, the so-called videos, the trimmed videos, in one particular place, the pricing goes higher than what exactly we are providing. So people don't see that in a combined way, but they only see that, Acha, I'm getting a video at this particular price only. I'm very happy for that.
Yeah, that is a typical behavior. I understand, and I understand your point of view as well. Yeah, thanks for clearing all these doubts. I just wanted to understand, how you guys are approaching this problem, because I myself have struggled with these issues, right? Because you need to realize as to, right, where is your line, right? Because somebody is,
Because most of the times people might say that,
right,
price is much, and the cost is very low, and you're charging at this price also. Now I would love to go over there. So obviously, these clients will come and they'll really tell us this thing. So we have to come with a solution for this particular thing, where people have to know that the difference between the lowest pricing which they are providing and the pricing which we are providing, because there are two different aspects where you can learn.
right.
That is whole thing of understanding all that.
Yeah, makes sense. So tell us about the numbers, like how many students, how many users. Tell us a little bit about that.
So we do have at least 10,000 users till date.
Right.
10,000 plus, I could say.
Since you started, right?
Yeah, since we
And when was that?
it's in April 19th, 2023.
2023, right? So I know EDVEDHA did a remarkable job. Like, you guys grew really quickly initially, right? I was reading some articles on that as well.
Oh.
So yeah, so in the last 1 year,
Yeah,
right? In the last 1 year, you guys have acquired somewhere around 10,000 students.
yes.
Okay, and how many of that is paid?
All are paid students.
All of them are paid students.
Yes.
Okay. That's really interesting. Yeah. So that's kudos to you guys, right? So you guys have been in this space for 1 year, right?
Yes.
Just 1 year. So what's your secret sauce, right? How are you able to scale this much work where other people are not able to do?
So the only thing which made us to be consistent is, all the time you have to be, changing according to the industry standards. Until if you're not changing to the industry standards, you will struggle over that particular period only. And at the same time, what exactly a customer needs. I know obviously if a student comes and he'll tell that, I want to learn this particular thing. Now, until unless if you're not making him understand that, what exactly they have to learn in order to pursue their career, until unless they have no career roadmap. So obviously they are not able to learn something. So what we do is, we take a counseling part for those particular people, and we'll, make them understand, what exactly they have to. Okay. And this part which we have went for colleges also, which we have tied MOUs from those particular colleges. And this made, us, to get, acquire more, customers and, I could say this, students for us. The way you make them understand, what exactly you're providing for those people and how exactly this is going to be helpful for those particular people.
Right.
Let's say that, there are plenty of, tech fields right now, which they are, connecting with the students from the college and, all these people. Until unless your approach is, understandable by the students, obviously they are not going to come for you.
Right. Absolutely. And, one of the things that I always tell to fellow entrepreneurs who want to enter the edtech field, right? And right now, if I give you like a rough estimate, 25% of the people I speak to or mentor or interact with, 20 to 25% of them want to enter the edtech space, right? And one of the things that I tell them that initially when you start, right, 100% of your leads are going to come from the paid sources, right? But over the years, you must be decreasing this ratio, right? So initially 100% is going to come in. But one of the biggest flaws that I see at tech making is not steadily decreasing the level of leads that are coming from the paid sources, right? Or paid media. Um, Over the time, you need to cultivate certain methods where your cost of customer acquisition, like the variable cost is almost zero, but obviously there's always a fixed cost attached with this, right? So what would you say? Like how you guys handling this thing at EDVEDHA?
Okay. So yes, obviously when you are told that, the paid sources which we tell this, right? So when you want to acquire a particular target audience, you have to reach, to a particular set of people. Okay. And that is highly impossible when you're trying to do it from, through a sources, whatever you have. Now there are other marketing resources. Most of the people doesn't know how exactly they have to go for it. Right. Now, there are mediums, which we use for social platforms and all this thing, right? So this social media platforms will help, as in my personal terms, I would definitely tell you this. Social medias help me a lot to acquire more, most of the times. Because, it made me the cost cutting where, I can, spend less amount and I can get, more clients. Okay. So why? Because, the most of the times, as I already told that, my clients are students basically. So these people mostly come from, social media. And my whole target is will be on social medias where, connecting colleges, might be sponsoring this, colleges and, getting into their WhatsApp, getting their WhatsApp groups or the flyers, whatever we are having. Okay. Because the college fest is the major reason which we can get more clients. Okay. So that is a major thing which made us, get into a bigger space, until unless, let's say that I don't have any particular data. And if I want to get into a particular college and if I want to swipe out. So obviously what I'll do is I'll sponsor that particular college in the first place. And later on, I'll tell that, I have sponsored this and this is what we are doing. And that is how, we have, make them interested towards a particular brand. And people started coming for us, this is a particular brand, which we have heard is already from our colleges. And at the same time, the cost cutting for this marketing part is where, which led us is, the initial this, we started burning a much amount here through ad spends, which were whatever we have done through, Google ads, otherwise, I could say the social media platforms. And now we started getting, more sort of leads from, Instagram and LinkedIn. So this is the two platforms where we majorly got this thing. And the third one, I would definitely say that, sponsoring this, tech festers and all this. So this is what made us get, more clients, to acquire more clients. That is how.
Right. Really interesting. And, Instagram and LinkedIn absolutely makes sense. So tell us about tech sponsoring, right? Because it's a risky feat, right? Because you have to put in money upfront, right?
Yes.
There's no guarantee whatsoever whether you will even get your money's worth of clients, right? And one of the challenging aspect of that is it has a cascading effect, right? So you sponsored the event a year back, right? Now, because of that, after a year, you are getting a client because that guy heard about your company a year back, right?
Yes.
So how do you measure the money that you're spending on sponsoring college fests and similar events? How do you measure the ROI on that?
So basically in ROI, what exactly you're doing is, so let's say that, the acquisition which I am making to acquire those particular clients. Okay, let's say that, if I'm sponsoring a particular tech fest, okay, so I want number of people, I'll calculate on myself. Like, let's say that, I'm investing of something around, 1 lakh. Okay, if my return have to come, so I have to get at least, let's say that my pricing is of 5,000 rupees, which I'm selling at. Okay, so I need at least, I could say that 30 people, to get a return. Right. So let's say that on an average, how many students will be there in each and every year? So let's say that, for each and every college, there are 5 different departments and each and every department will be having 2 sections. And each and every class will be consisting of 40 people. Okay, out of 40 people into 5 departments, 200 people or 400 people, whatever the count is. Now, out of these particular people, I have to get only 30 people which I spent on those particular. No, if I'm getting a 30 people at least, then whatever I have invested, I'm getting it back. And obviously, there is one thing in those particular colleges that if a particular student is doing one particular thing, obviously the other person comes, hey man, I want to do this particular thing. Look, could you get me signed up? So this is what we have to make them interested towards what exactly we are talking and what exactly we are showcasing in their event. So basically, we are doing marketing over there by sponsoring the title event or might be the industrial partner or something like that. So this is how. Now the whole concept comes at how exactly we are manipulating this particular. I would say this manipulation of for to understand them clearly. This is
right. No, absolutely. In terms of marketing, I the term manipulation has a very negative connotation attached to it, right? And one of the things that I say to my sales guys is that as a marketer, we are in the business of manipulating people's emotions, and a lot of people take offense to that. But my answer to it, if you are providing them a good product at the end of the day, that manipulation is a good thing, right? You can manipulate people to drink coconut water or Karela juice, right? So if you're manipulating them for that, it's a good thing. If you're manipulating them to smoke cigarettes, obviously that's a bad thing. Right. So that's pretty much it. So yeah, please say. So you are in manipulating. You are saying something, right?
So when we try to if I want my ROI to be increasing, obviously as a marketer, I want whatever the investment I'm doing, I want my returns on it, right? But at the same time, what sort of the percentage I'm getting it back? So that is a major thing which I have to be answerable for the particular company, right? So at the same time, the budget which I'll be taking at is, so I have to look after how many the acquisitions I'll make according to the customer. Okay, so let's say that if I'm as I already told, if I'm investing this much of amount, so I should get after the spends of whatever I have spent on a particular event. So how many people are will be interested on same particular day if I'm investing it, because later on, if let's say that after 10 days or 12 days, whatever the investment I have done, if I'm not getting those particular things, obviously I have to be answerable for that. It's not about 1 year, it's about 10 days only, because the returns are most important thing for a company, for an organization, right? So what I'll do is, so my concentration would be on the particular person who have approached for me and I have approached for that particular guy. Okay, and I'll tell upfront that I need this many number of people to be taken. I want you people to promote my brand in your college. So later on, this particular people will showcase their interest towards they obviously, as a student, they want to learn something, right? So they'll showcase that interest towards this particular thing. Actually, I want to come out and I want to do something, so I'll do this. So obviously, as a student, they won't be having this ideology also yet, that if I want to do this, what exactly happens. So what we'll do is, so we'll we'll take the client's details and all this thing, and we'll talk to them. We'll discuss with those particular people, and we appoint a campus ambassador for that particular college, and that particular campus ambassador will help us to acquire more particular people. So this is how we can get our returns what exactly we have invested.
Well said, right? Amazing strategy there, I must say. So what is the typical targets? Like how many events do you try to sponsor in a year, for instance?
So depending upon, the way we want our revenue to be increased. So that is the major thing. Okay. So let's say that, as you already told, I will definitely tell you this. Once if I spend my marketing budget on a particular college or might be a technical fest, whatever it is. So what exactly is happening over there? Right. So I am getting my clients after a year of the, obviously, let's say that a particular person is from a final year or a third year person. So obviously, what exactly I need? From that particular person, I need the other person to be coming up. The other person will be asking that, bhaiya, aap kahan se kiye hai? Right. So I know that particular person will tell that, if my product is, good enough. So obviously, he will tell that, I have done from here. You can take a program. So obviously, my returns are getting, pretty much high each and every time. According to the year, is getting changed. So this
Absolutely. Well said. So it's the rapid fire round time. Are you ready, Ram?
Yeah, sure. Definitely.
Awesome. So what's your favorite marketing tool?
I could say that no Google Analytics because I know I could definitely see the monetization over there.
Nice one. Name one book that has greatly influenced your career.
Would say that Secret.
Right. Ah, good choice. What's the best piece of advice you have ever received?
Never have a plan B.
Yeah.
Work on plan A. This was my best advice which I have got.
Right.
Because
What?
unless, if you are not having that I already told you this, right? If you think that if you are having a plan B, that means your plan B will fail. Obvious.
All right.
So
Yeah, there's some merit to it. Okay. Now, what's the best thing about EDVEDHA?
So I could say that, people can upskill themselves according to the industry standards which they want to get settled in their careers. That is the best thing which they can have.
What is the worst thing about EDVEDHA?
Me.
Nice answer. So in one sentence, what advice would you give to an aspiring marketer?
So never stop learning, because the concepts are coming, really, I could say that they are developing, each and every time.
Yeah.
So if you marketer, start learning each and every time until unless you think that it is enough. Because marketing is not enough. It's about learning each and every time.
Right. Well said. So Ram, thanks a lot for coming on this podcast and sharing your thoughts and insights. This podcast is a must for anybody who's planning to enter the tech field.
Thank you so much for having me on this podcast. And I'm really happy that, I've shared my insights also. And at the same time, to be frankly, this, as I already told you in the first place, this was my first podcast, which I have, been into. So I'm really happy for that, to sharing the insights of what exactly the marketer should be having and how exactly, the thought process should go through a company's perspective. So that is
Right. I'm really happy to share that. And it was really insightful. I think you have learned in 3-4 years what it took me to learn, what it took me a decade to learn. So kudos to you.
See, because, I don't think so that because, each and every time, if it talk to other person, obviously we'll think that, the other person have learned something, more than us. So obviously I would definitely tell you the same thing that, I should learn something from you also.
I wish it was true. But anyway, thanks a lot for coming on this podcast.
Thank you so much for having me.
Well, folks, what a ride it has been with Ram Kumar. From his early days as an engineering student to leading groundbreaking marketing strategies, Ram's journey is nothing short of inspiring. To all our listeners, thanks a lot for joining us today. Don't forget to share this podcast within your network. And as usual, don't forget to like, share, and leave us a review. This is your host, Avinash Tripathi, signing off. Catch you the next time.